Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here, I have created one of the controller as a profit controller. So into the web route, I have created all of the prefix as a reports, and then that is our method as a monthly profit view. That is a method I have created in our profile. That is a profit controller. So to the profit controller, that is our method. So into this method, I only return one of the view page into the backend, and that is our profit view page, right? So now that is our profit view page. So here we have to first of all design this page. So friend, this page will be, as I told you, this will be just like our employee management. Into the employee management, there is our monthly, that is employee monthly salary. So that will be just like that same. Before I only take that things with the attendance data, and if you select it, and you can see it's now successfully loaded all the data with using that handlebar.js, right? And that will be just like that same. And also that is on the fee slip. That means if you click on here, that will be redirected to one of the new tab with the PDF format, right? So friend, that will be just like that same. Here I only want to take all the data by the that is the start date and the end date. So right now I want to actually copy that design. That is our employee management, that is a monthly salary. So that means if you go to our backend, and there is an employee, into the employee area, that is employee monthly salary, and you can see there is a view page. So right now I copy everything, and also they have the handlebar min.js, then the jQuery. So right now I copy everything, and now in our profile, that means in our profit view, here I paste it. Okay, so we'll customize it right now as per our demand. Like right now there is an employee monthly salary. Now I want to change it. I want to make it as a manage monthly or and yearly profit. Okay, that will be as a monthly and the yearly profit. So this type of one of the name I want to use. Okay, perfect. So that will be as a monthly and the yearly profit, and then the attendance, that before that was only one field. So right now I want to take actually two of this field, and then that will be actually 2. That means our row, into the row area, that will be as a call md4. Okay, that means the 4 and then 4 and the 4, that will be as actually 12. So right now I take another one. Okay, that is a and 4 column. So I copy that another column, and then that will be as another one as a end date and the start date, and there is our another call md4. Okay, better I make it as a call md4, and that is our end row, that is our search. Perfect. So now I want to change that name. Our type will be as a date type, and that will be as a start date, and I name that field name. I name that field name as start underscore date. Okay, and then also I want to put one of the ID will be as a start date. Okay, and then that will be as a end date. And date, I make that name, that will be as and underscore date, and also I want to put that ID will be as a and date. Okay friend, so that will be as a start date, that is a end date, and then there is a search button, and then here we will load our all that t source. So that is our t head, that is our t body. So to the t body area, right now we don't need to use that each. Okay, here I want to only load our all the t source, that means the td source and the th source. So right now I remove that t, that means each this I remove it, and also I remove that and each. Okay, perfect. So I only updated this part, and then that is our everything will be just like that same. That is a document result, document template will be same, and that is one of the table, and there is a wide is 100%. Okay, so that will be the same. And now I want to update our this script. So before that was only one, that is a date, right? So now I want to updated our 2 of this. Right now that will be as a 2 of this, one will be as a start date, another will be as a end date, right? So here I name it as a start date. I copy it, so that will be as a start date, and I put that ID name as a start date, right? And also there is another one will be as a end date. That is our start date ID as a start date, and the end date ID as a end date, right? So I copy it. So now that will be as the end date, and then that will be as the end date. Perfect. And then we have to create one of the route. So that is our Ajax. So we did a lot of the time with the same concept. I think at that point it not should be hard for you. So now I want to name one of the route name as a report. Okay, report and the profit. The report profit, and then I want to get all that things as a date wise. So I make it as a date wise. Okay, date wise dot get. So this type of one of the route we have to create, and then the type will be as a get type, and data will be as a start date. So that is start date and the start date, and also want to pass our end date. That will be as the end date, and then that will be as the end date, right? So I simply pass both of these on here. Perfect. And then the function, everything will be just like that same. Here we don't need to change anything. Our document template, our handlebar compile, and then our document result, because I didn't change anything, right? That is a document result and the document template. That means here in our here you can see, the dev, that is our document result, and that is our document template, and then that is our handlebar script. So here it should be loaded all that our T source and the TD source. Perfect, right friend? So now I want to actually create our this route as a report profit date wise get. So now go to our web route. Into the web route, after that I copied, that will be obviously another get method. So now I copy it, so that will be our route name. I copy that route name, and that I want to update that route name as a report profit date wise get. So now I make it as a monthly profit get wise, okay, and date wise. This type of one of the URL I want to define, and then in our profit controller I want to create one of the method that will be as a monthly profit, okay, monthly profit date wise. So this type of one of the method I want to create in our profit controller. So now I copy it. Now go to our profit controller. Here after this I simply create as a public, and then function, and then our method. So here from to this position we have to pass all that our return respond with a JSON data, right? Because of all, here you can see I have already passed that as a data type will be the get, and there is a data. So JSON data we have to pass it. For the reasons here we have to pass it with the request and then the dollar request. Okay, that means request and the dollar request. Perfect. But here one things you have to understand, like if you go to our database table, as I told you, right now we will get all the data. That means we will get some of the data from our account student fees, we will get some of the data from our account employee salaries, and there is another table as a account other cost. But here one things, for the account other cost, I'm using the date format. As you can see, I'm using the date format as a year and the month and the date, right? And also if you go to as the account student fee, here you can see here I am actually using the date, only that year and the month, right? And if you go to our salaries, that means the account employee salaries, here I also use that only year and the month, right? And then here I am actually using the theme, that is the year, month, and the date. So now we have to update this data also with this date, and as I told you, that will be just like our employee monthly salary. So into the monthly salary, here I have already created this method. If you go to right now this method, I want to actually get all the data from here, then we'll customize it. If you go to that employee, that means in our employee controller, into the backend, that is our employee controller, that is a monthly salary controller. From to this position I want to do that is actually the monthly salary get, right? So right now I copy everything from here, then we'll customize it. I copy it, okay, I copy everything, and now in our profit controller, here better I put that note as a and method, okay, and method. Now in particular this area I want to do and to paste it, okay, so I simply paste it. So that is our last one, and from here also we have to pass that return response JSON. So right now we will customize it as per our demand. So that is our date. So right now we don't need this, I close it. So that is our date. I name our field name, that is a monthly salary, we don't need this. That is a profit. So into the profit view, right? In the profit view, we actually pass the two of this. One is the start date, one is the end date. So now I want to start that things with the start date. There is a start date, and our date format will be as a that is actually the year and the month, right? And then the request into the requested, that is our date format, that is our start date, and the also we have to add that another one for the end date. I make it as a end date. So for the end date, that is a name as the end date. So that is our end date, and that is our end date. That means the requested end date. Requested end date means if you go to our here, so in particular that profile view page, and you can see there is a name and requested name as the end date. I pass that requested name as the start date. So I add both of these, and as I told you, I pass both of these with the year by and the month. And also we have to get some of the data from our this table as account others cost, and in the account other cost table I pass that as a date wise, right? There is a month, year, and then the date. So for now I want to take another variable. Here I want to take another variable. Everything will be very clear to you. I take as a start date, this type of another variable I want to take, and then our field will be just like that same. I pass that our field. Okay, so here only we have to pass that as a year, month, and then the date. I pass that as a date. Okay friend, and then I want to take another one. That will be also I make it as a end date, okay, e date, and then the date format, or date format will be year, month, and the date, and start to time, and the requested will be the same. That means the start date, and that will be as a end date. Perfect. So here I simply updated both of these. So now here I want to update this portion. Right now I remove it, and also here I remove it. Okay, so I remove it because I want to get all that data, and here I have to use another function as a where between function, because we have to get that data between the start date and the end date, right? So right now there is our account employee salary. First of all I want to compare this data. So that is account employee salary, and then the account other cost, and the account student fee. So right now first of all I want to get this data from our accounts student fee. That means here after this, okay, after this I want to take one of the variable. I take one of the variable as a student, okay, student underscore fee. So that will be with our account student fee. With this model I want to get as a where by, okay, where between. As I told you, we actually getting that data between two of this time period. One will be as a started date, another will be as a end date. So there is another function as a where between. So it will be get all the data by this date. So now I want to use it. So that will be as a date, right? That means if you go to our this database table, that is our student fee. To the student fee, you can see there is also one of the date. So this date is the year and the month. So that is our date field. So that is our date field. So this date field will be our start date and the end date. So after that I want to get all that between data from our two of this variable. That is start date, that is our start date, and then there is another one as end date. So I simply add that end date. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. So that is our another one as end date. Perfect. And after that I want to sum both of these data. So for the reasons here, after that I add that as a sum. That means the equal to, that is sum, and I want to sum it with our which amount. I want to sum it our field amount as a amount. Okay, that means this amount. So now I want to use that as a amount. Make that sure your spelling is correct. So that is amount amount. Okay, perfect. So now I simply get this sum data. There is a between two of this data, between our start date and the end date, and all the data I get with the sum amount. Okay, I make it as a sum, and that is our will be make sum in our this field as a this field amount as a amount. Perfect. So now I want to take another one. I copy it. I have to actually get two of this, because that is our one field data, that is our another field data. So now I want to take another variable as other cost. Okay, other underscore cost. So I take this type of another variable, and for the other cost, if you want to get this data, so I have already loaded our model as a account other cost. So that will be as a account other cost where between date. And here one thing, so here as I told you, so now everything will be very clear to you. For the account other cost, there is our date format, but this date format actually the year and then the month and then our date, right? So for the year, month, date, I have already take another variable. You can say I take another variable as the s date and the end date. That is the year, month and the date, right? So now we have to pass this s date. That means our date will be our this start date and date will be as a this end date. I hope it's very much clear to you, friend, right? Because of all that is our different date format and that is actually our different date format. For the reasons actually I take both of these. So now everything will be the same. So only I have to pass this s date and the e date, okay? And then I put the same condition as a sum our amount. That means they have also another amount, so this amount will be as a sum, right? Perfect. And then the another one for the employees, that means there is our account employee salary. I copy this model. So now with this model I want to do, first of all I take one of the variable and I just name it as the employee underscore salary. Okay, employee salary, this type of another variable. And then in our account employee salary, here where between the date, if you go that is our account employee salary. Here you can see there is also the date and there is the amounts, and this date is the only year and the month. That means that will be our first variable, right? That means that will be our this variable as the start date and the end date. Because of all here I only use that as a year and the month, right friends? So now that will be the same as the start date. Our date will be start date and the end date and sum our amount field. That means that is actually our amount field. Perfect. Okay, so here I have simply updated both of these. So that is all that our amount. So now we have to calculate our profit. Okay, that means here we have to calculate that profit. So friend, better I want to continue this process. In our next video we'll complete our this total profit analysis data. We'll load all that our t sources data, then we will visible it in our profit view page. So how can do that work? Better I want to continue this process. In our next video I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.